Stop taking that little pill before bed, the one you reach for almost without thinking. The one your friends swore by. The one the pharmacy sells right next to the vitamins with the friendly blue label and the word sleep printed on the front. If you are over 60 and you cannot sleep through the night, that pill is not helping you. It is one of the main reasons you wake up at 2 in the morning staring at the ceiling. It is one of the main reasons your sleep feels shallow, broken, unrefreshing. And it is one of the main reasons you wake up the next day foggy, slow, and a little more forgetful than you used to be. You have been told that this pill is gentle. You have been told it is safe because you can buy it without a prescription. You have been told that older people just sleep less and that a little help at bedtime is harmless. None of that is true after 60. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear will change how you sleep tonight. There is a specific pill to stop. There is a specific reason it is destroying your sleep architecture. And there is a specific replacement routine that costs nothing and works in about 2 weeks. The fix is simple. But first, the body has to be understood. So stay with me, because the first change can begin tonight before your head hits the pillow. The narrator behind this voice is Ethan Cole. 15 years as a cardiothoracic surgeon, thousands of patients over 60. Hearts opened, valves repaired, lives returned to families. And for most of those years, the same question came up after every operation. Doctor, why can't I sleep anymore? Why do I wake up at 2? Why do I lie there exhausted but wide awake? And for a long time, there was no good answer, until the problem arrived in his own body. Not in a patient, in himself. Waking at 1:45 every morning, heart pounding for no reason. A fasting glucose of 124, sitting right at the edge of prediabetes. A surgeon who could fix other people's hearts, lying awake in the dark, unable to fix his own sleep. That is when the research began. And that is when the pill on the nightstand became the first suspect. Now here is the part that nobody explains. You think the problem is your bladder. You think the problem is stress. You think the problem is age, plain and simple, and that nothing can be done. You have been told for years that as people get older, they just need less sleep. That is one of the most damaging lies in modern senior health. After 60, you do not need less sleep. You need the same 7 to 8 hours you have always needed. What changes is not the requirement. What changes is your ability to stay in deep sleep. And the real reason you cannot stay in deep sleep is not your bladder, not your stress, not your age. The real reason is that the most common over-the-counter sleep pill in America blocks a specific brain chemical called acetylcholine. And when acetylcholine is blocked night after night in an aging brain, 3 things happen at once. Deep sleep collapses. Memory consolidation fails. And the bladder, the heart, and the gut all start misfiring in the small hours of the morning. That is the reframe. It is not that you cannot sleep. It is that the pill you are taking to help you sleep is actively dismantling the very sleep stages that keep you alive. And the stakes are not small. Listen carefully, because the numbers matter. Adults over 65 who regularly use this class of pill have, in study after study, shown a measurably higher risk of dementia within a 10-year window. They have a higher rate of nighttime falls because the pill lingers in the bloodstream long after you wake. Falls are the leading cause of injury death in seniors. 1 in 5 seniors who break a hip does not survive the following year. Read that sentence again. 1 in 5. The pill that promised you a peaceful night may be quietly raising the odds that you will not see the next one. It thickens the blood pressure swings that happen between 2 and 4 in the morning, the exact window when most strokes begin. It dries the mouth, the eyes, and the bowel. It worsens the very night urination it was supposed to mask. And here is the part that should make you sit up. None of this is on the front of the box. The box says gentle. The box says nighttime. The box says safe. But after 60, gentle is a word that has been redefined behind your back. Take a breath. Do not panic. There is a way out, and it is simpler than you think. By the end of this, you will know exactly what to stop, exactly what to replace it with, and exactly how to rebuild your sleep in 2 weeks without a single prescription. So here is what is coming. 7 mistakes that seniors make with sleep pills and nighttime routines. 7, ranked from least harmful to most harmful. Number 7 is something almost everyone does within an hour of bed. Number 5 is a kitchen habit that keeps the brain wired until 3 in the morning. Number 3 is the specific pill class to stop, and the reason almost no pharmacist will warn you about it. And number one is the single nighttime habit that is doing more damage than all the others combined. Fewer than 3% of seniors know about it. Number 1 is the one that, when removed, has brought patients from waking 5 times a night to sleeping straight through within 14 days. Hit the like button now, before the countdown begins, because the algorithm uses that signal to show this to other seniors who are lying awake tonight. And in the comments, type your age and how many times you wake up. Just the 2 numbers. Nothing else. It helps the next person who needs to hear this. Now to the list. Mistake number 7 is taking magnesium at the wrong time, in the wrong form, with the wrong meal. Magnesium is the mineral that calms the nervous system. Think of magnesium as the brake pedal on the brain. When magnesium is low, the brake does not engage, and the brain keeps idling at high speed even after the lights go out. After 60, magnesium absorption drops by nearly half compared to a 40-year-old, because stomach acid production declines with age. A paper in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society reported that roughly 48% of adults over 65 are functionally deficient in magnesium, even when their blood test looks normal. Blood tests miss it because most magnesium lives inside cells, not in the bloodstream. Consider Dorothy, 71, a retired schoolteacher from Asheville, North Carolina, waking 4 times a night for 6 years. She had tried every herbal tea on the shelf. Her daughter mentioned magnesium glycinate, and Dorothy was skeptical. She had taken magnesium before and it had done nothing. But she had been taking the wrong form, magnesium oxide, which the aging gut barely absorbs. Within 11 nights of switching to 200 milligrams of magnesium glycinate, taken 60 minutes before bed with a small handful of almonds, she was waking only once. After 3 weeks, she slept through. She told her daughter she had forgotten what morning sunlight looked like through a rested pair of eyes. So here is the exact protocol. 200 milligrams of magnesium glycinate, not oxide, not citrate, 60 to 90 minutes before bed, with a small fat-containing snack, because magnesium is better absorbed with a little fat. Never with coffee, never with calcium at the same time, because they compete. That alone will move some of you. But the next mistake is bigger, because it involves something you probably drink every single evening thinking it is helping you wind down. Mistake number 6 is the evening glass of wine, or the evening nightcap, or the small whiskey before bed. You have been told for 50 years that a drink relaxes you, and it does for about 90 minutes. Here is what nobody tells you. Alcohol is a sleep thief in a friendly costume. It puts you down fast, then robs you blind in the second half of the night. Picture it this way. Alcohol is like a sedative that wears off at exactly the wrong moment, right when the brain is trying to enter its deepest, most restorative stage. As the alcohol metabolizes, the body releases a surge of a stress chemical called glutamate, which slams the brain awake somewhere between 2 and 3 a.m. A study in the journal Alcoholism Clinical and Experimental Research found that even one standard drink within 3 hours of bed reduced restorative deep sleep in adults over 60 by approximately 39%. 39% of the sleep stage that consolidates memory, clears brain waste, and repairs the heart. Raymond, 74, a retired civil engineer from Tucson, had a small bourbon every night for 40 years. He could not understand why his sleep had collapsed in his late 60s. His body had simply lost the ability to process alcohol the way it used to. Liver enzymes slow with age. The same drink that did nothing at 45 hits like a sledgehammer at 70. Raymond moved his one drink to early afternoon, with lunch finished by 2 p.m. Within 18 days, his 2 a.m. wake-ups were gone. So the protocol is this. If you choose to drink, finish it at least 6 hours before bed. Not 2, not 3, 6 for a 10 p.m. bedtime. The last sip is at 4 in the afternoon. That is the line. But the next mistake is something you do in your own kitchen, and almost no one connects it to sleep. Mistake number 5 is eating your last meal too late and eating the wrong thing when you do. After 60, the digestive system slows down dramatically. A meal that cleared the stomach in 2 hours at age 40 now takes 4. When you lie down with food still in the stomach, 3 things happen. Acid rises into the throat, even if you do not feel heartburn. The heart works harder because blood is diverted to digestion, and blood sugar spikes, then crashes around 2 a.m., releasing adrenaline, which wakes you. Think of the stomach as a slow factory that closes at sundown. Force a late shift, and the whole building stays lit. A study from the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adults over 65 who ate within 2 hours of bed had 53% more nighttime awakenings than those who finished eating 3 hours before. Helen, 74, a retired nurse from Knoxville, used to have a sandwich at 9 and be in bed by 10. She woke every night at 2:15 like clockwork. Her son suggested she move dinner to 6 and have nothing but warm water afterward. She thought it would be impossible. Within 10 nights, the 2:15 wake-up dissolved. She cried the morning she realized she had slept straight from 10 until 6. The protocol: last meal 3 hours before bed, smaller, lower in sugar, lower in refined carbohydrates. If you must have something later, a small piece of cheese or a few walnuts. Never bread, never dessert, never fruit juice. That alone restores sleep for a meaningful percentage of seniors. But now we arrive at the heart of the matter, the mistake that the entire video was built around. Pay attention. This is the one. Mistake number 4 sets up mistake number 3, and they must be understood together. Mistake number 4 is using the bathroom light at full brightness during a nighttime trip. The aging eye is exquisitely sensitive to blue and white light. A bright bathroom bulb at 2 a.m. sends a signal to the brain that says morning has arrived. Melatonin, the hormone that holds you in sleep, collapses within 90 seconds. Even if you fall back asleep, the sleep that follows is shallow and short. Picture melatonin as a thin candle flame. The bathroom light is a gust of wind. Once it goes out, it takes the body about 40 minutes to relight it, and by then the alarm is closer than the dream. The fix is a single, small, warm-toned nightlight. Amber or red, never white, plugged in at ankle height in the hallway in the bathroom. Cost, about $4. A trial published in Sleep Medicine showed that amber low-level lighting preserved roughly 71% of melatonin levels compared to standard white bathroom light. Walter, 68, a retired baseball coach from Phoenix, made this one change and nothing else. His morning grogginess lifted within a week. Now hold that in your mind because it is the bridge to number 3. Number 3 is the pill itself, the one this video is named for. And before the reveal, hit like one more time, because what comes next is the single piece of information the pharmaceutical aisle does not want printed on the front of the box. Mistake number 3 is taking an over-the-counter sleep pill that contains diphenhydramine. You may not recognize the chemical name. You will recognize the packaging. It is the active ingredient in nearly every nighttime pain reliever, nearly every PM formula, and nearly every drugstore sleep aid that promises gentle rest. It is also the active ingredient in the pink allergy pill that has been on shelves for 60 years. Diphenhydramine is an anticholinergic. That word matters, so it is worth saying plainly. Anticholinergic means it blocks acetylcholine, the brain chemical that runs memory, deep sleep architecture, and the signals between brain and body that keep the bladder, the gut, and the heart in rhythm at night. In a younger brain, blocking a little acetylcholine produces drowsiness and not much else. In a brain over 60, blocking acetylcholine night after night is like cutting the wires in a fuse box one by one. Things stop working slowly, quietly, and you do not notice until a lot has gone dark. A landmark study published in JAMA Internal Medicine followed adults over 65 for roughly a decade and found that those with sustained high use of anticholinergic medications had approximately a 54% higher risk of dementia compared to non-users. 54%. That is not a side effect printed in small text. That is a structural change to the brain. And here is the part that should stop you cold. Diphenhydramine does not give you deep sleep. It gives you sedation, which is not the same thing. Sedation looks like sleep from the outside and feels like sleep on the way down. But underneath, the deep stages collapse, the dream stages shorten, and the brain spends the night in a kind of chemical fog instead of true repair. You wake up tired because you never actually slept. You just stopped being conscious for a while. Margaret, 75, from Phoenix, had taken a nightly PM pill for 9 years. 2 tablets every night like clockwork. She came in complaining of memory slips, dry mouth, constipation, and the strange feeling that her sleep no longer refreshed her no matter how long she stayed in bed. She was certain the pill was helping. Her family was certain something was wrong. She agreed to stop slowly over 14 days, replacing it with magnesium glycinate, an earlier dinner, and the amber bathroom light. By the end of the 3rd week, she slept 7 hours straight for the first time in nearly a decade. Her dry mouth went away. Her bowel returned to normal, and the foggy feeling she had blamed on age began to lift. The protocol is this: do not stop a daily medication on your own. Take this list to your doctor and ask one sentence: is anything I take anticholinergic, and is there a safer alternative for a person my age? That sentence is the most important sentence in this entire video. Write it down. Say it out loud. Take it with you to the next appointment. Type the words I will ask in the comments below if you intend to do this, because that small commitment makes it 10 times more likely you will follow through. And now, the bridge to number 2. Because stopping the pill is half the battle. The other half is what you do in the hour before bed, and almost everyone over 60 gets it backward. Mistake number 2 is watching the evening news, or any emotionally charged television, in the final hour before sleep. The aging nervous system takes longer to come down from stress than it used to. A frightening news story at 9:45 does not leave the body by 10. It stays in the bloodstream as cortisol and adrenaline until well past midnight. Cortisol at midnight is the chemical opposite of sleep. Think of cortisol as the body's smoke alarm. Once it goes off, it takes hours to reset, and the brain refuses to enter deep sleep while the alarm is still ringing. A study in the journal Psychoneuroendocrinology measured cortisol levels in adults over 60 and found that emotionally negative content within 90 minutes of bed raised nighttime cortisol by an average of 37% and reduced total deep sleep by about 26%. Dorothy, the same retired teacher from earlier, watched the late news every night because her late husband used to. It was a habit of love, but it was also a habit that was costing her 2 hours of deep sleep. She replaced the news with a single chapter of a gentle book and a cup of warm water. Within 12 nights, her sleep depth, measured by a simple wrist tracker her daughter bought, nearly doubled. The protocol is this: television off 90 minutes before bed. No news, no crime drama, no loud comedy. Soft music, a paper book, a quiet conversation, a warm shower, a slow walk through the house, turning the lights down room by room. The brain needs a runway, not a cliff. Give it the runway, and it will land you in deep sleep on its own. And now, finally, number one. The single biggest mistake. The one that, when corrected, has done more for senior sleep than every pill on every pharmacy shelf combined. Number one is sleeping in a room that is too warm. That is it. That is the secret almost nobody tells you. The aging body loses its ability to regulate core temperature efficiently. The brain will not enter deep sleep until core body temperature drops by roughly 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit. In a younger body, this drop happens automatically, even in a warm room. In a body over 60, it does not. The thermostat inside the brain, a tiny region called the preoptic nucleus, becomes less responsive with age. If the bedroom is set at the temperature most American seniors keep it, somewhere between 72 and 76 degrees, the body simply cannot cool itself enough to fall into deep sleep and cannot stay cool enough to remain there. Think of the brain as a computer that overheats and shuts down processes one by one to protect itself. A warm bedroom forces the brain to shut down deep sleep first, because deep sleep generates internal heat. So you stay in light sleep all night, waking at every small sound, every small ache, every small signal from the bladder. A study in the journal Sleep, conducted at a major university sleep laboratory, found that adults over 65 who slept in a room set to 65 degrees Fahrenheit experienced approximately 84% more deep sleep than those sleeping in a room set to 75. 84% more. From a single dial on the wall. Raymond, the retired engineer from Tucson, made this change last. He had already fixed his alcohol timing, his magnesium, his bathroom light. He was sleeping better but still waking once around 3. His wife was cold, so the thermostat had stayed at 74 for 30 years. They compromised. 67 at night, with an extra blanket on her side. Within 9 nights, Raymond slept from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. without waking once. He told his cardiologist he had not done that since the Reagan administration. His blood pressure, measured the following month, had dropped enough that his doctor reduced one of his medications. From a thermostat. The protocol is this: 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit at night. Yes, it will feel cool when you get in. That is the point. Use a heavier blanket so the skin feels warm while the core stays cool. That contrast is the exact signal the aging brain needs to enter and hold deep sleep. If a partner is cold, a dual-zone blanket or an extra layer on one side solves it. The cost is nothing. The change can happen tonight. And for many seniors, this single adjustment does more than every sleep aid they have ever tried. Now, a hard question. Why did no one tell you any of this? Why did the pharmacist not warn you about the pill? Why did the doctor not ask about the thermostat? Why did the late-night television commercials show smiling seniors swallowing the very tablets that were dismantling their sleep? The answer is not a conspiracy. The answer is simpler and sadder. The modern medical appointment is 12 minutes long. 12 minutes to cover blood pressure, medications, lab results, and whatever new symptom brought you in. There is no time for sleep architecture. There is no time for thermostats. There is no time for the difference between sedation and rest. The over-the-counter sleep aisle exists because the appointment is too short to do anything else. It is not that doctors do not care. Most of them care deeply. It is that the system gives them no time to teach and gives the pharmaceutical companies enormous time to advertise. The result is a generation of seniors who were handed a pill instead of an explanation. None of this is your fault. You did not do anything wrong. You followed the advice on the box. You trusted the friendly blue label. You believed the commercial. Anyone would have. The point of this video is not to shame you for what you took. The point is to give you back the information that should have been on the front of the box from the beginning. So here's the recap, simple and clear. Magnesium glycinate, 200 milligrams, 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Last drink finished 6 hours before sleep. Last meal, 3 hours before sleep. An amber nightlight at ankle height in the hallway and bathroom. A conversation with the doctor about anticholinergic medications, using the exact sentence given earlier. No emotional television in the final 90 minutes. And the thermostat at 65 to 68 degrees with a warm blanket on top. 7 changes. None of them cost much. None of them require a prescription. All of them work together, which is why they work so well. Here is the challenge. 14 nights. Just 14. Start tonight with the thermostat and the bathroom light because those take 5 minutes. Add the magnesium tomorrow. Move the dinner time this week. Make the doctor's appointment to discuss the pill. By night 14, the body will have rebuilt enough of its sleep architecture that the difference will be unmistakable. Some will sleep through the night for the first time in years. Some will still wake once, but fall back within minutes instead of staring at the ceiling for an hour. All will wake up feeling more like themselves than they have in a long time. You are not broken. You never were. The body over 60 is not a failing version of a younger body. It is a different machine with different rules, and almost no one bothered to hand you the new manual. You are holding it now. You are the kind of person who refuses to accept decline as a verdict. You are still here, still listening, still willing to change one small thing tonight to feel better tomorrow. That is not a small thing. That is the entire difference between the seniors who fade and the seniors who keep playing with their grandchildren on the floor at 85. Share this with one person you love who is over 60. Someone who has been quietly tired for too long. Someone who keeps a little blue bottle on the nightstand and does not know what it is doing to them. That share may be the most important thing done all week. In the comments, type the number of the change that will be made first tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. Just the number. It helps the next viewer, and it helps hold the promise made to oneself. Take care of your body. It is the only home you have.